Hello, and welcome to another update video about Ether. So the market doesn't really give us a response to that Fibonacci support level there at 2,360. So in the white scenario that we discussed in the previous video, we could still get one more high. However, looking at the proportions between wave 2, which occurred between the 4th of January and the 8th of January, and this massive correction, yeah, I mean, it doesn't look right anymore, does it? But we've had it before where Ether put in a massive wave 4 correction and it just didn't look right, but it still worked. Where was that? I'm not entirely sure where that was. It might have been here in December. No, can't remember where that was. But it was a huge correction and I think it might have been here. I don't know. But you get it sometimes where, especially in crypto, sometimes they are forming huge wave 4s in contrast to shallow wave 2s. Typically they have the same length roughly, but sometimes the 4 is longer. That the 4 in crypto is shorter in duration than 2, I think is rare. But still, yeah, I don't like the look of it anymore. So I can still see it as a correction in the white count where this is a wave 4. But as I said, below 2,360, I consider the white wave count basically dead. And in the white scenario, we should see one more high to round about 2,750 plus. But have to say that until we see a reaction there, the focus is of course down. I mentioned already in the last video, we would need to see at the very least a break above a certain level to suggest that a low is in. And that level has moved a little bit to the downside now. It's now 2,426. That would need to be broken to the upside to at least have a first indication that some kind of a low is in this C wave of wave 4. At the moment, I cannot see that. There's literally no indication a low has formed here. But it's still hovering above $2,360. So yeah, technically I cannot take off the white count, but it doesn't show any buy reaction to that level. And therefore we've got our yellow count, which is the short-term bearish scenario in which we could see a little lower prices. And the levels to watch here next would be 2,323, 2,281, and 2,214. We can only watch if we see a reaction there until we have a first impulse to the upside that moves above resistance. We have to focus on an ongoing correction, right? But in the white count, this correction should really be over. In the yellow count, we might only see a marginally lower low that suggests, okay, we should complete wave 3, then another 4, which is a corrective rally, and then a wave 5 down, and it could complete this overall correction. So I will let you know when I see any indication that the low is in. For now, I'm skeptical if the white count is holding, but then again, I've seen cryptos turn around at an instant, but it just doesn't feel like it. Now, when it doesn't feel like it, everybody is bearish again, then typically it's the moment where it's turning around. But yeah, at this stage, we are basically at the cusp of breaking the support for the white count, which means that in the next video, if the price is below 2,360, you will notice I will have taken off the white count off the chart. That would suggest wave 2 is unfolding still. And someone asked me in the previous video with that yellow count here, if wave C of 2 is really unfolding, shouldn't it break below those previous lows? Can do, but because of this massively overshooting B wave, where we have an A wave down, an overshooting B wave, it's a 3-wave move clearly, because ridiculous how high it was. The C wave might not need all that space to go below the low of the A wave. Yeah, it's just something to be aware of. An A wave and a C wave often, I mean, they have a certain Fibonacci ratio or relationship they typically respect. And the 1.618 is a very, very important one. Of course, it could go lower, but it is often the case when the B wave is very high and did rally a lot, that the C wave, well, it forms a running flat pattern, right? Where the C wave can end above A. It's a rare pattern. In a wave 2, it's rare. But with such a high B wave, I think it is at least something that is likely. So anyway, I will let you know once I see the first impulse to the upside, which would suggest that the low is in. At the moment, nothing visible there. So it's a frustrating correction, but that's what they often are. You know, corrections are frustrating. They're not supposed to be fun. So yeah, I hope you liked the update. Nevertheless, if you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Also, make sure that you follow us on Instagram and Twitter for additional content. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.